Hello again. I'm perfectly sure that many viewers must have noticed that a lot of the stuff which they read from government departments, local authorities, hospitals, and all kinds of other organisations isn't written in English. By this I mean that the words are often based on English, and sometimes they are English themselves, but they are strung together in such a way as to make it all but impossible to know what is meant by them. I saw a good example of this recently with the London Borough of Camden, who are anxious that the people they buy goods from are not being horrible to homosexuals. At least, I think that is what they are saying, although I don't know offhand why a company supplying food or rubbish sacks, say, would wish to persecute homosexuals. Camden say that they are, and I quote, building our commitment to LGBTQ plus equality into our procurement process. They will do this, and again I quote, by working with businesses whose values align with our own and to use our position of power to positively influence. I shall ignore that ghastly split infinitive and make two observations. First, of course, if I were paying council tax in Camden, I'd be more concerned that the council ensured that they were getting the best value for money and were dealing with honest people who would fulfil their side of any contract promptly and fairly, rather than whether or not they had homosexuals working for them. Secondly, of course, I have no idea at all what Camden are saying that they are actually going to do. How do you build equality into your procurement process and make sure that people align with your values? What does all this mean? It seems that the council is going to be asking businesses to demonstrate their commitment to homosexual equality before they will do business with them. But again, I have no idea at all what that means. How would a company show that they were not prejudiced against homosexuals? I have not the remotest idea, in other words, what all this means. If you found that a little too obscure to make any sense of, then try this. It seems that Camden wishes to increase diversity in the public realm, and that this is part of a push to make states in the capital more diverse, which covers all protected characteristics and intersectionality. Again, it is clear that the council is going to do something. But hand on heart, how many viewers have the least idea of what it is that Camden are planning? I can provide a few clues. The public realm simply means streets and parks in ordinary language, and intersectionality means having two things about you which might make people prejudiced against you, such as being black and gay or disabled and female. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine what they're up to. Well, that's not strictly speaking true because I happen to know somebody in Camden that I rang up that works with Camden Council, and they explained the business about the public realm to me. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. I've noticed this kind of thing increasingly lately with local authorities or the government making very bold and urgent proclamations which sound very straightforward until somebody asks you to explain them. We used to see this kind of thing a lot with slogans from communist countries such as "Forward with the people." It sounds grand, but what are we supposed to be doing? As a guess, I would say that the reason that confusion is deliberately created is because if they spoke plainly about what was going on, people might object. For instance, all that stuff about diversity in the public realm, it's about changing street signs and removing those which might feature the names of Victorian soldiers and statesmen and replacing them wherever possible with black people. If they said this outright, it might cause a few raised eyebrows and people might moan about the cost of replacing street signs and ask if it was worth it. Some viewers might remember how Haringey abolished Black Boy Lane a little while ago, and the cost was published, and it was some of the ratepayers in Haringey objected to the whole exercise. So it's much safer just to ramble on about the public realm like that so no one knows what you're really up to. Whenever you see stuff like this, which sounds just like incomprehensible jargon, always stop and ask yourself what it is that somebody is so keen on hiding from us behind a wall of gibberish. As usual, I give a link in the description to this video to a news item about this.